Okay, so we're going to jump into this Hey Joe song, and we're going to start with the intro, and then we'll do the solo, and I'm going to kind of break things down as we go along. I really enjoy teaching this song. It's one of my favorite Hendrix songs. It's one of the first Hendrix songs that I learned, and I still really love the guitar solo. I can remember how much time I spent working out the intro and just trying to get the timing right and trying to figure it out and trying to understand why he was doing what he was doing. And the same with the solo. I've just always been really... it's still one of my favorite solos because it stays basically in one place. It has a lot of space, it has dynamics, it has melody, it has phrasing. I just think it's a great solo. And when I'm working with students on getting outside of just open position chords, maybe learning some pentatonic scales and starting to learn some licks and talking about how to apply this information over chord progressions, how to know when to switch between major and minor pentatonic, how to see chord shapes, scale shapes all at the same time. It can be really overwhelming. So when people talk about like the cage system, I didn't know what the cage system was until, after I moved to Nashville, like really just years ago, because I learned the guitar neck by learning this kind of music, like looking at Hendrix and trying to figure out how he was seeing the neck and how smoothly he would move between rhythm playing and lead playing. And I just didn't know how he knew where he was going, if he was moving, horizontally or across the neck. And he was just so smooth and tying these ideas together and constantly improvising. And it wasn't until I started to put the chord shapes together with the scales and kind of see them like a blueprint where you have to see these things stacked up and see them individually and know where you are in the chord progression. So it's a pretty heavy ask. And it can feel overwhelming. It did for me, but that's one of the reasons I really like teaching this song to my students when they're ready to kind of ramp it up and start putting some of these pieces together. So I'm going to start with the introduction, the intro to the song, and break some things down, demonstrate it, kind of point some things out that you might want to look for, and then we'll jump into the solo and I'll do the same thing. Now, whether you know some of these pentatonic scales, one or two of them or all of them, I'm going to give you some exercises to help you develop your technique and kind of help you facilitate how to see the neck, the scales and the chords on top of each other, how to connect them. And as we get into what will come after that, which is some of the rhythm playing, we'll spend quite a bit of time there because Hendrix was a really, really great rhythm guitar player. And I've written parts that I've tabbed out for you, and I've written rhythm parts and licks to play over the E chord. And I wrote out these phrases so you would have to employ some of these really common techniques that he uses. Hammer-ons, pull-offs, sliding, move between scales, that will dial you into his kind of playing, but also be very beneficial to you as you implement this stuff in your own playing or you're trying to figure out other people's stuff. Hendrix was a really dynamic guitar player, and he didn't always play the same thing twice. He was moving around. He might be in the open position, embellishing chords, and then he's moving in between little like bits of pieces of chords, scales, licks. So it can be pretty easy to get overwhelmed by all of the information and what he's doing. So I want to keep this, I'm going to give you all these demonstrations, but I want you to also be aware that we're talking about concepts that you're going to utilize moving forward. So I don't want to go too deeply into the theory, too deeply into the technique. I want to keep everything focused on this song, the chord progressions, and a lot of the kind of techniques that Hendrix would use in his playing so that you can work on those and move forward so you don't get bogged down. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's talk about the intro.